Hello, neighbor. This is Novels and Bits podcast, and I am your host, Chizoba Katie. What's up? Today, we're going to be doing a new story on the podcast, and this is Restore Me by J.L. Seegars. It's a Black American romance book, so imagine Black characters, like all-studded Black cast. I'm really excited about this one. This year, I started reading Black American romances. I'm pretty sure it's this year, although it feels like years. And it was like uncovering a whole new world. I love it so much. Now, this one, let's get started. The story starts with the prologue. It's a college party. This particular guy, he's seated at the back outside of the house where this party is going on because he's trying to avoid a particular young woman who resembles an angel in his eyes and has a body, according to him, that is designed for sin. And she's now wearing white, a white short dress that barely covers her bum. Now, this young lady, because consider this thing teenagers, right? She comes to the back where he is and sits on his lap. And something about him gives off this bad boy vibes, and she wants it. She wants whatever temptation he's offering. Apparently, this young man, he has a bad boy image that comes from years of abuse and neglect at the hands of his narcissist father. You understand? And it's something that he's been trying to overcome by being a better person than this his father he loathes so much. But his grip tightens around the young woman as he senses that whoever this young woman is, she has her own demons that probably matches mine. So perhaps she is going to be good for me. That's what he's thinking. Now, in the present day, this is no longer college. These people are adults right now. In the present day, a young woman, Sloane Ellis, she's a designer, an interior designer. She's trying to pull off the renovation of one old building like that. She's trying to pull it off to become a hotel. But then the particular client who employed her to do that job, he's problematic, which keeps causing contractors to quit. One day, I want this thing like this. Oh, no. Switch it like this. This is the other one that just came into my mind. That's a trending thing. And the funny thing is, it's only 10 weeks away from the opening night of that hotel. And their design is not done because of the picky employer. His name, he is James. And he now calls Sloane to tell her that he found another contractor. So Sloane goes to the meeting to meet with her clients, James, and the new contractor. And the new contractor is none other than Dominic Alexander. Sloane has a late husband, like she was married, but her husband is dead. That her dead husband has a best friend, this Dominic Alexander. And Sloane and this Dominic Alexander person, they've never liked each other. It's quite apt to say that they hate each other. He even barely acknowledges her as she comes into that meeting, and she is so angry. Now, she leaves this meeting. After this meeting, the client and the new contractor, Dominic Alexander, she goes to meet her sister-in-law, who is also her business partner and best friend, Mallory. She now tells her sister-in-law, she tells Mallory on everything else other than Dominic is this new person that they employed. Because she's just holding back that information based on she's still turning it over in her head. What does this mean for me? She's the only person who calls Dominic by his full name, whereas other people call him Dom or Nick. But she's never wanted to call him any of those Dom or Nick because she's like, why should I? He barely acknowledges my existence and he treats me like an inconvenience. I might as well annoy him. You understand? Since he wants everybody to call him Dominic, I'll call him Dominic. Let it annoy him very well. Now, when she gets to her home, Mallory is inside. Mallory has a spare case. And Mallory, everybody calls her Mal. She was Eric's twin sister. Eric is Sloane's husband, the one who is dead. Now, Mal is messy, but Sloane welcomes her presence anytime, any day over being alone in the house because her husband has been gone for 4 years. And Sloane has been living alone for 4 years. So if her sister-in-law / best friend / business partner is going to come in like a whirlwind and mess up her apartment, so long as she provides comfort, like her presence alone is like, sure, I can take any other thing, I bring it. So now that they're together inside Sloane's house, Sloane now tells Mel that I did not tell you one thing, that other time that we just talked earlier. I did not tell you that it's actually Dom that is a new contractor. Mel started laughing Like, both of you working together. This is going to be very interesting. Both of you that cannot see eye to eye. Meanwhile, they order food in. Now, Sloane goes up to change from her work clothes. And then she normally sleeps in her late husband's t-shirt. It's so old because she's been wearing it. But that's how she wears it to feel close to him. Now, he's been gone 4 years, killed in a drunk driver accident. Like a drunk driver ran him over and, kind of crashed into his car uncle. And she keeps missing him, missing her late husband. So the next day at work, Sloane is bent over her laptop, her tablet. She's trying to make a design, but she's so distracted. She's practically thinking, how can I be working with Dominic? How can I be working with Dominic? God, this is such an inconvenience. So in that distraction, she draws toilets inside wardrobe. This is meant to be wardrobe, so why are you drawing a toilet inside it? She's like, okay, I gave up. My head is not here. And around the same time, her friend Mal texts her to come to the New nightclub for dancing and drinking. It's a perfect distraction. So she takes it up. Only for her to arrive at the club. She arrives with a taxi because obviously you're going to drink, so you're not going to drive home, right? So she arrives in a taxi and she gets there to find Mal pacing outside. And then Mal's like, oh my gosh, you're here. And Mal takes her straight to the bar so they can get drinks. And that's not like Mal, because normally if Mal and Sloane go out drinking, they sit, right? They sit like ladies in the club, and then the waitresses will come up to them and then they'll give their order and the waitresses will bring the drink for them. So why are we going to the bar to get drinks? Mal is acting strange. She's just downing drinks. I'm like, you, Sloane, down some. That's when Sloane's like, Mal, come on, what's happening? Mal is like, apparently, as soon as I texted you to come and you agreed, Dominic walked into this club not long after. And Sloane is like, what? You could have texted and told me to turn my ass around. I came here to get my mind off of him, not to stare at his smug face while sipping overpriced drinks. Trust this moment for Dominic to come up behind her and say, it's nice to know you've been thinking of me, Sloane. And the way he says her name always freaking annoys her. Now, Mal wants 3 of them to have a nice time. She has a button and she's like, come on, guys. Can we just be adults? 3 of us have a great time. And Sloane is just thinking, Mal and me have a great time. Yes. Mal and Dominic have a great time. Yes. Us 3 have a great time. That is not going to work. Now, Sloane still remembers Dom's first insult that he threw her away at the first party that 3 of them attended with Eric, when Eric was still alive. Apparently, Dom called Sloane an attention whore when she's just trying to have a good time at a party. Like, what's up with that behavior, sir? Sloane and Mal, they leave their bags and ask Dom to watch it, so they go dancing. While they're dancing, a man slides up behind Mal, and Sloane spies another man coming to do the same to her, and she panics. Ever since Sloane lost her great love, her husband Eric, she's been uninterested in men and having a relationship or anything. And she's also been feeling guilt, because she feels like towards the end of their marriage, like right before Eric died, she was the one that sucked the joy away from their union. So she's living with that guilt. So she now goes to where Mal left space for them to sit at the booth that she secured now. So Dom is seated there, still watching over their backs for show. And Dom does not look up when Sloane arrives and sits down. He just asks, had enough of the dance floor already? She now replies him, sure, I can rest easy now, knowing everyone in this club has had their eyes on me. You know how us attention whores need to be seen. And she just thinks that, because I give this reply, he's just not going to mind me anymore. But he focuses on her. And that's not what she wants. She does not want to have his attention on her. And she just feels like she just awoken a wolf. Dominic now, this is his perspective, his POV, because this book is written in dual POV, her POV and Dom's POV. He's thinking, oh my gosh, she is so annoying. She's good at her job, not like I'll ever let her know. And she just likes fighting with me. The conversation shifts towards how Sloane is planning Dom's murder, unless he lets go of this project. Because she wants him to say to James that he's not doing this project. But instead, Dom lets her know that he's actually the one that made the call to James to be on this project. And she doesn't understand why, because she knows Dom is busy. Dom's company, Archway Construction, he started it with Eric. Like, Eric and Dom were best friends. Remember, Eric is Sloane's late husband. He's very busy. And Dom also knows James is unrealistic about deadlines. Dom thinks that James' hotel is even overpriced. But the reason why Dom is doing this project, this construction, is he's just trying to annoy Sloane. And even as he's talking with her right now, he's doing his best to keep his attention on her face and not on any of her body parts showing. Her thighs, she's obviously braless. He was angry the previous day when James was looking at her during the meeting as though he's seen her without clothes. Sloane is now retorting, telling Dom just exactly what she thinks about his decision to stay working on this project when Mal returns to the booth where they're seated at with that same man that's laid up behind on the dance floor. And the man keeps looking at Mal like, oh, I want to date this girl. So it's annoying to Dom that a man is looking at Mal like this, the man she just met on the dance floor. But you cannot compare the annoyance he's just feeling about the situation to the blinding rage he felt the previous day when he thought that James was doing Sloane, like James and Sloane might have something that they are hitting off for behind the scenes. To make room for Mal and the man that she brought that followed her to the booth, Sloane, she has to shift. I think it's one of those rotating slide chairs. So in her shifting, she now comes up against Dom's side. It makes her uncomfortable, but Dom pretends not to notice. Also, Dom has a lover. Sloane knows that from Mal, because the thing about Sloane is, her and Dom move in similar circles in terms of, first of all, they had Eric in common. They still have Eric's family in common. So from snippets like Mal will just maybe drop off in conversations when they're just talking about people that they jointly know. Sloane knows that Dom has this on and off girlfriend in his life. So she just like, I cannot just be found being any way associated with this dude who has a woman. And even Dom, on his own part, is feeling confusion as to one's proximity because he hates her. She's annoying. So why is he feeling anything? Luckily, a call comes in. He uses that call as excuse to get up and leave there. Dom is actually 6'7", 7 inches tall. That's really tall, like best basketball player height. Sloane is so grateful that he is gone and no longer taking up space because he is a big man. Mal and the man she brought with her, they start kissing ferociously and it makes Sloane uncomfortable. So she claims that she needs to use the restroom just to get away from both of them. She's returning from the restroom when the man that wanted to slide up behind Sloane on the dance floor that she ran away from dance floor now to go and meet Dom at the booth. That same man, he holds her in firm grip and starts pulling her to that corner. It's a club. Everybody's grinding up against each other and lost in their own thing. So they're not paying attention that somebody's actually manhandling her against her wish. So the man starts pulling her to this dark corner, promising to take care of her. Our music is so loud. Nobody is paying attention. It's now Dominic that marches in to that situation and he's so angry. He gently but firmly takes Sloane's hand out of that man's zone, puts Sloane behind him and unleashes hell on the man. Punches him 2 punches. Puts his hands around this man's throat, legit. It's even Sloane that is begging him. Now the patrons are now paying attention. Those ones that were lost in their world when Sloane was in trouble. Even the security arrives and pisses Dom off. So Dom now takes Sloane by her hand and she's now scrambling to keep up because he's walking, he's vibrating with anger and he's holding onto her hand. So in her heels, she's just like struggling. Now back at the table, he gathers her things. Mal waves goodbye to the man. And now they're all leaving because Mal gets the picture that something just happened. Now, Dom is walking ahead while the ladies, Mal and Sloane, they are walking behind him and then they're talking. Mal is so shocked that Dom hates anybody because he tries as much as possible never to get involved in fights because of his violent upbringing, like trying to be that better person than he was raised as, you understand? Now, Mal is sorry that she wasn't with Sloane to beat that man up. Now, the ladies came with an Uber, but then they had to return in Dom's Range Rover. Apparently, Dom doesn't drink. Another thing about his upbringing, because his father was a drunk that used to hit him and his mother. That's why he doesn't drink and he doesn't like being involved in anything violent. Sloane hesitates to sit in front, but Dom threatens that, look, if you don't sit in that front, I'll carry you inside. Now, in the past, he never would. But now, she's thinking, he touched me. He hasn't actually touched me before. I don't have any memory of Dom ever touching me in the past how many years I've known him, maybe 10 years or so. So if he could have touched me just in that club, there is no guarantee that he's not going to touch me again if I do not get into this car. So I should better respect myself and get it. Now, his hold on her is, she just recalling, his hold on her was possessive, gentle, familiar. Now she falls asleep on the drive back. And the way he wakes her up is gentle caresses on her face. Now, Dom watches her enter the house and he doesn't leave until she's in her room and turns on the lights. That's when he drives off. And she's now wondering, has her relationship changed? Because something about this night shifted something about us. Now, Sloane, the following day, she wakes up from a call from her mother, Lauren Cassett. Her mom wants her to come and have brunch with her father. It's out of the minute call, no planning, just come today and let's have brunch with her father. Her mother is a beautiful woman and a complete narcissist. She doesn't have a motherly bone in her body. She's only full of criticism for Sloane, who constantly has to apologize to suit her mom's big ego. Now, Sloane is like that she can't come today, but she'll come later during the week. What her mom, Lauren, tells her is, please let me know when. I have several engagements scheduled this week, and I won't be happy if I have to miss them just to accommodate your lack of planning. What? You're the one that called me out of the blue, and I'm telling you, oh no, I already have somewhere I'm going to be in today, and you're telling me, what? Jesus Christ. Her mom is like freakishly annoying. Like that kind of annoying that you wonder, how do you exist? Now, Sloane is so shocked. She's the one her mom pushed last minute planning on, and now she's making it look like she's the one at fault. Anyhow, Sloane just dresses up after the call. She meets, and then Mal arrives at her house, Sloane's house, with iced coffee. They go shopping for Mama. Her mama is Sloane's mother-in-law. That's Mal's mother and Eric's mother, like Eric now, who is dead. Now, when they arrive at Mama's house, Mama envelopes Sloane with so much love. They have a regular Sunday dinner. Now, these regular Sunday dinners and Eric's family is actually what got Sloane through her grief. Despite that they were grieving themselves, they offered her comfort. You understand? They are grieving the death of their son, their brother, yet they were able to see Sloane through her own grieving of her husband. Sloane is in the kitchen. She's cutting up vegetables with Mal when Dom comes up. And he's been at the backyard, building Mama a shed. He does random work for Mama. With Eric gone, he's basically her son now. Even when Eric was still alive, it's like as though Mama had two sons with Dom around too. And he just runs plumbing, it's wrong. He does it for Mama. She needs a new shade built, that sort of thing. And he's only wearing a tank top, so you can see the muscles. You can see how well built he is. And he just talks with Mama, talks with Mal, but just stares at Sloane. That's the only acknowledgement that she's there. The kind of silence he used to give her before. And this was her hoping that things might have shifted between them. The thing makes her sad and she feels like crying for some reason. Maybe it's the fact that she just had this thing earlier with her mother. Whatever it is, it just gets to her. So she makes excuses about needing air and she gives everybody some space. And it just makes her so sad that her and Dom are still at the same spot. So what's that about? So now this is our introduction to the story, Restore Me. We can see on the themes that it's dealing with grief and love and whatever else you're going to see. Parents who fail their children. And I am recording this at 4:39 a.m. So if my voice is a little low and it's not like boom, 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 please understand. I have housemates. I'm probably even disturbing them. And I have not slept today. And I have to be at work 8 o'clock. So let me go have some discipline and sleep so that I am not completely useless at work. Until then, I'll catch you. Bye. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please tell someone about this podcast. Leave a review. Please. Leave a comment. And this means a lot to me. And we'll have a new episode in a few days. So, see ya.